Alrighty, y'all. What's going on? Welcome to Books That Built Me, the series where every episode is a personal testimony. I'm Antasia Sherbrilla Moore, a mindset and style coach, and in this season, I'm sharing the books that truly changed my life. And these aren't just reviews, they're reflections. I'll tell you what worked and what didn't, and even how I used it. And guess what else I'll give you? A rating. And yes, how I rate it for real life. Let's turn pages and turn corners together. Alrighty, so y'all, okay, so I am a big stickler for books. As y'all know, I'm a writer. I have my BA degree and my AA degree. They're all in writing and creative expression, and just not wanting to steer clear of any type of art. Like I'm plundering straight through. Like that's not up for discussion and negotiation. It's a non-negotiable. So this is going to go into our episode that is going to be number 5. Good old number 5. Definitely are a part of what's going on in second place. So soft power and quiet confidence. MG. Look, so when you think about what that soft power means and that quiet confidence, it's probably the girl that you see that's well dressed, put together, but she isn't saying much. Or probably the young lady that you see who's walking with her head held high, even though her past is probably a mile long, okay? Or has a rap sheet of whoever was around her illicit complaints a mile long from everybody else that's been done something to her, but yet her head is held high. So again, that type of energy gives off soft power and quiet confidence because we know we can rage wild with everything. So this is why this book is such a good read. Simplify Your Life, Zen Buddha. So this is really about a calming power. And I mean, I love food. Y'all know I'm a big foodie. I put probably food on my grateful list every day because I'm so happy when I have a meal that's really well curated. And why is that? Ex- just press the button that makes it go backward. You can simply rewind it because life is so um kind of the length of our arm with drama, with people's problems, with people's inabilities, with people's desires to cause problems. And when you have that energy constantly around you and you have a counterbalance with things that make you calm and you go into that Zen state, that's ultimately really that's really not about. I mean, come on, everybody wants to be in a Zen state. That's just what it is. But you have people who constantly want to be able to say and pull you out of that energy. And do you understand what it is that causes other people to do those things? You have to learn how to do those moments in your Zen, your so that you can find that second there. Trust, that's the only place you're going to find it. You think it's in a quick fix. You think it's in a quick filler, and it's not. You think it's in another quick pound of the latest hip hop music, the latest and greatest hip hop artists. It's not. Getting down on your knees and asking God to direct your step, maybe. Going in a quiet corner so you can enter into what your thoughts are, yeah, that might work too. But dragging another person down because you don't feel good or because you're hurting or because you got an attitude about something, that's probably not the best choice. And deep down in your heart, Suzanne, I know that you know this. I don't want no more, so please don't come back over here. Labria. And so this book is definitely kind of sort of a shift in the way that you want to consider how you're going to conduct yourself. Because that idea of not allowing what takes place around, because we all are in environments. We all are around different type of entities that are within these environments. And that's where most of the struggle lies. Because so many times you will see that people really are going to use interior motives to bring some kind of disharmony to your life, whether they mean to or not. That's what they're going to choose to do every single time. So the shift becomes not outward but inward within Buddha. Reflecting inwardly allows you to manifest what you want in, out. And let's say, for an example, I'll give myself when I go inward and I picture a beautiful home that's with my own family members and the husband, that I prefer not to have any kids outside of marriage. We're not going to just run to the quickest space that we know is riddled with drama. That defeats the purpose of going inward to finding those calm, quiet places that has that zen-like feel. So again, as you move on and you go around, you will see the shifts. And another thing that I noticed when I'm realizing that shifts are taking place, it's less crowded. It's just no room for people who are unwilling to pay the price. It's not room for people who are so willing to tear you down when you're looking to leave that behind and you move forward. It's just really simple as that. It's just no room for you here. The air up here is too high quality to constantly allow Debbie Downers to suck it up. The air that you're breathing in is so precious at this point where people who come in to destroy, they're not going to be able to breathe it. They can't because it's too precious to breathe when you're constantly causing drama from somebody else. And you look back if you choose to, and most likely you'll have some problems. You'll be like, oh wow, did I even really just choose to go ahead on it? Then you want to kick yourself because we know that the answer is a very negative one. And so that's the shift. You realize that you're shifting from a very quiet type of lifestyle riddled around not everybody else's thoughts, but one that's more in your soft girl era or your rich chick energy era. So everybody else that's constantly having their hand out or some kind of suckling at the tea or everybody's leeching and mooching, then you realize that eventually they'll die. I mean, just think about it. You'll have so many instances where you be like, wow, this neighborhood is up and coming. And then 10 years later, it's been riddled with all kind of ransackers. And it's like, okay, thank God we didn't buy that house. Or let's say, for an example, yeah, I heard that there were so many type of people who were actually sexually offending other peoples in their neighborhood. Oh, girl, I'm glad we didn't move over there and got good. Or you can say, yeah, it's so dirty all of the time, mostly when I'm over there. So, girl, yeah, I'm glad we ain't buy nothing over there. You know what I mean? Because it's roach infested or it's constantly riddled with dirty laundry. So, you kind of sort of see the connections there. So that's where the shifts are, especially when you're goal chasing, when you're looking for your goal and not necessarily the next high or the next filler injection appointment. You're looking for more upscale type of upper class thought when it comes to dealing with your manifestations. So there's the mental shift. And then for your mindset, the style connection is also when you really are into this type of zen state and moment, you are going to notice some things. What you're going to notice is that your wardrobe will actually begin to reflect your zen state. So that's our style connection. Because not only is it going to do that, but it's also going to need some form of protection. Because I'll never forget, as I was kind of sort of figuring out what I wanted to do, my college degree, how I wanted to pursue the field of art that I found myself in, I realized that when I dressed a certain part, there came times and moments where I realized that people were staring at me. People would stare at how I looked, how I dressed, and the staring revealed that people will stare with intent to do bodily harm. So that's why they stare. And or that's why they are staring. I know that's hard to accept. It's probably definitely around top 4 or 5. And so, therefore, you see what the point is of protecting. Because everybody does not have your best interest at heart. Everybody doesn't have your best interest in heart because they're so focused. Too much so to the point where they actually become a detriment. And so that's why the sexual offenders will block their blessings from having an up and coming spot because people are glad that they no longer have to feel as though that's their only option, and then look back in hindsight and feel grateful for the belief that there really was more because that environment was so riddled with sexually offending type of entities, especially if you have little girls. You'll really look back and be like, okay, well, cool, I'm really glad that we didn't have to go there. And that's what the points are. When you're in your Zen state, you can see, and especially young girls, you have to dress them. They have to be kind of sort of ready to take on the world. So there's your style connection. Your style is going to definitely amplify and improve, especially through time, because you're focusing on matching the energy of where that persona is. And once you get there, at this point, basically, she's fully embodied. And then here's a takeaway I want you all to have, clients. I want you to really figure out the fact that you're in your Zen state. That really entails that you're really focusing on you. So take a few minutes today, whether it's just 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 15 different minutes. And once you get to that space, it can be in your office, in your car, and really just focus just a few seconds. Give yourself a few affirmations. If you want, we can go over a few right quick here, and I'll pull some up as well. I use Moonex sometimes for my daily affirmations, but this one is going, I fully recognize and love myself, and this brings me inner peace and harmony. Because it does. When you really look in the mirror and you feel grateful for yourself and not as though you're a hindrance, that peace that you feel and that harmony from really feeling like you are a chill person who's done your best, who has strived for some really great things in life, and you believe this about yourself, that's really a positive feeling. I mean, in all actuality, it really is not about how anybody else feels. Because really, when you're looking in the mirror, who is it you see? You only see your own reflection. So I really wanted us to make sure that we touched on that. And I release the resentment, anybody else's anger, and any inhibitants, because that's really all that they do, one's personal growth. So just let go of that energy. Myself as a parent, does it hurt to feel like I have to constantly discipline my daughter or my child? Yes. But in the long run, I have to let that go. I have to release it. Why? Because I know that in the end, discipline is something that is really going to allow my child to really experience an upright path in life. So does it suck to discipline initially? Yes. But release it. Why? Because discipline ultimately is an act and form of love that keeps her aware of right and wrong behaviors. I have to learn them. She has to learn them. Nobody's exempt. Now, personal growth is definitely where you want to be at. And even when you're dealing with your Zen moments, when you go into those seconds where your life is really reflecting how you've been manifesting, you've really been taking that time out to kind of sort of really make sure that you've been okay. I mean, ladies, for real, that's really what you got to focus on, man. You got to focus on finding time for yourself. I mean, you matter, ladies. You matter. Okay, like I mean, for real, you seriously take up space in this world. You take up space so much so in this world, and eventually we have to learn that we are allowed to take up space in this world. We're supposed to. I mean, if Tasha and Zoe can take up space, why can't you? If your grandmothers and them were here and they lived as long as they did and they took up space, why are you not allowing yourself to do so as well and do the same? You really got to be conscious of the thoughts that you put into your mind, because clearly you are choosing not to cooperate. You're choosing this type of behavior. And if your grandparents didn't, then why are you? So just a bit of a kind of sort of conscious thought that you kind of sort of may want to figure out every once in a while. And again, hopefully this is going to be really cool and something that is going to be of benefit to somebody. So thanks for joining me on this journey through the books that built me. If this episode sparked something for you or reminded you of your own growth, share it, rate it, and keep reading with intention, ladies. So I'll be back next week with another story, another shift, and another book that helped shape the woman I am today. Until next time, stay grounded, stay glowing, and stay becoming.